Welcome to Money and Marriage Made Simple, the show for couples who want to get on the same page financially and strengthen their relationship along the way. I'm your host, Tina Bunn, a financial coach and wife who knows what it's like to feel the stress of money in marriage. Every other week, I'll bring you practical tips, real conversations, and simple strategies to help you take control of your money together, one small step at a time. Let's jump in. I want to start today with a question, and I want you to think about the honest answer, not just the one that sounds good. When you and your partner sit down to talk about money, is it because things are going well and you're just checking in? Or is it because something has gone wrong and you have to talk about it? For most couples, it's the second one. For my husband and I, it used to be the second one. We don't talk about money until we have to, until the account is lower than we expected, or the card is higher, or something comes up that forces the conversation. And then we handle it, and then we stop talking about it again. I'd call this the fix-it approach. A problem appears, we address it, we move on, repeat. And here's what I've noticed after working with couples on their finances for a while now. The fix-it approach works until it doesn't, because life doesn't stop producing problems. And if your only relationship with your finances is reactive, if money only comes up when something breaks, you are always going to feel like you're behind, like you're chasing something you can never quite catch. Today, I want to offer you a different framework, a different way of thinking about all of this. And it might be one of the most practical shifts I've ever taught, because it changes not just how you handle money, but how money feels in your marriage. Hey, welcome back to Money and Marriage Made Simple. I'm Tina, and I'm really glad you're here today. We're halfway through June, and I have something I've been working toward all month that I want to share with you in today's episode. So stay with me through the whole thing. You're going to want to hear it. But first, let's talk about the difference between fixing your finances and actually changing them. Let me tell you about what the fix-it cycle actually looks like. Something forces the money conversation. Maybe the account is lower than you expected. Maybe a bill comes in that you weren't planning for. Maybe one of you brings up a purchase the other one didn't know about. You address it, you talk through it, you figure out what to do, and things stabilize. And then you stop paying attention until the next thing forces the conversation again. Rinse and repeat. Now, there's nothing morally wrong with this approach. It's not a character flaw. It's actually just very human. We respond to urgency. We're wired that way. But the fix-it cycle has some real costs, and I want to name them because I think naming them is the first step to choosing something different. Number one, it's exhausting. When you're always responding instead of leading, you never get ahead. You're perpetually in catch-up mode. And that low-grade financial anxiety, the one that lives in the background of everything, never fully goes away because you know another problem is coming. You just don't know when. And second, it makes money feel threatening. When money only comes up in your marriage as a problem, when the topic of finances is reliably associated with stress and urgency and someone feeling bad about something, the conversation itself becomes the threat. I've watched this happen with couples. They don't fight about the actual numbers. They fight about the moment the topic comes up before anything has ever been said, because their nervous systems have learned that money equals bad news. When your spouse says, "Hey, can we talk about money tonight?" what happens in your body? If there's a clench, a brace, a feeling of dread, that's the fix-it cycle. You've been conditioned. And third, and this is the one that is the most subtle, the fix-it cycle keeps you from building. Every time you address a problem and move on, you're starting from roughly the same place every time. There's no accumulated knowledge, no compounding progress, no rhythm that makes the next month easier than the last one. You're not building anything, you're just maintaining a baseline. Before I keep going, I want to take a quick break because today is the day I've been building toward all month. and I want to tell you about it. The Debt Free Collective is opening in July. This is something I've been working on for a while, and everything I've been talking about, the isolation, the lost momentum, the couples who keep starting over, all of that is exactly why I built this. So here's what's inside the Debt Free Collective. It's a private community of couples who are on the debt payoff journey, people who are in it, who get it, who will actually celebrate your wins and tell you the truth when you need to hear it. You'll get a live coaching call with me every single month, not a pre-recorded video, not a workbook you have to figure out alone, an actual call where you bring your questions, your struggles, your wins, and you get real answers from me, your coach. And you'll get tools and resources that are built to be used month to month, not just read once and set aside. All of this is under $30 a month. Less than most people spend on subscriptions they forgot they even had. The doors open in July. The link to get on the founding member waitlist is in the show notes. Founding member pricing goes to the list first, and it will not be available indefinitely. If you've been listening to this podcast and thinking, okay, I'm ready, but I don't want to do this alone, this is for you. Go check out the link in the show notes. And now back to the episode. So, what is a financial practice? A practice is something you do consistently, not just when you have to, not just when things go wrong. A practice is what you build so that fewer things go wrong in the first place. Think about the people in your life who seem like they have their finances together. And I want to be specific here. I don't mean the people who make a lot of money. I mean the ones who seem calm about money, who aren't panicking when something unexpected comes up, who don't seem to be in an emergency mode every time their partner brings up the bank account. I'd bet almost every single one of them has some kind of rhythm with their finances, something they do regularly, not just in a crisis, but routinely, that keeps them connected to their finances and connected to each other about money. Not because they're more disciplined than you, but because they've built a practice. Here's what I want you to understand about the fix-it cycle versus a financial practice. They can look similar from the outside. In both cases, you're dealing with your money. In both cases, there are conversations happening. In both cases, you're probably making your payments and staying somewhat on top of things. The difference is internal. It's in the posture. In the fix-it cycle, you're always responding. Money is in the driver's seat. It calls the meeting when you need to talk about it. In a financial practice, you are leading. You set the meeting. You show up before there's a problem to solve. You look at the numbers when things are fine, not just when they're not. That shift from responding to leading changes everything, including how money feels. So what does a financial practice actually look like? I want to give you 4 specific components. These are things I see in the couples who have broken out of the fix-it cycle and built something that actually lasts. Component number 1 is building a monthly budget. Not just once a year, not when things feel tight, every single month from scratch, not a copy and paste of last month, because your income, your bills, your life looks different in June than they did in May. This is the foundation. It's what keeps you intentional instead of reactive. And it only works if you both do it together in the same room, going through it line by line, not one person handing the other a spreadsheet to approve. Component 2 is a weekly or at least bi-weekly check-in. Not a full meeting, not a long conversation. I'm talking 5 to 10 minutes. Where are we in the month? Does anything need to move? Are we on track? That's it. This is the component that prevents surprises. Most couples are shocked at the end of the month because they didn't look mid-month. The check-in is the thing that lets you course correct before you overspend, not after. And if 5 minutes feels like a lot, it isn't. You spend more time than that deciding what to watch on TV. Your finances deserve at least 5 minutes a week. Component number 3 is a monthly reflection. At the end of each month, you look back together. What worked? What didn't? What would we do differently? What do we want to keep doing? This is where the compounding actually happens. The couples who get dramatically better at managing money over time aren't doing something wildly different each month. They're just learning from the previous month. They're building on what they already figured out. And component number 4 is external accountability. This one is the hardest to build on your own because accountability requires other people. It requires something outside of your marriage, a coach, a community, a structured check-in that keeps the practice alive even when life gets busy and internal motivation has a bad week. I want to be really honest about this one. The first 3 components, you can build those yourself right now, today, with nothing except a calendar and the willingness to show up. The 4th one is different. Here's what I've observed over and over with couples I work with. The ones who build lasting financial momentum almost always have some form of external accountability. Not because they're weaker than other people, but because they're strategic. They know that motivation fluctuates. They know that life gets busy, and they've built something into their lives that doesn't rely entirely on how they feel on any given Tuesday. Internal motivation is powerful, but it has bad weeks. External accountability is what you can lean on when yours is running low. Okay, here's where I want to give you something practical to take from today's episode. 3 things, specific things, not build a budget together as a concept. Actually do this. Step 1, pick your budget day for June. Not something before July starts, but a specific day, a specific time. Put it in your phone calendar right now as a recurring appointment. Block the time like it's a meeting you can't move, because it is. If you and your spouse haven't built a budget together from scratch before, this is where you start. Not with a tutorial spreadsheet, not with a YouTube video on zero-based budgeting, with a date on the calendar. That date is the beginning of your practice. Step 2, I want you to add 1 mid-month check-in. Just 1. Pick a day. It can be a Wednesday evening, a Sunday morning, whatever works for you and your life. But set a recurring reminder. Call it budget check-in or money meeting, whatever you'll actually look at and not dismiss. 10 minutes, that's the commitment. If it goes longer, great. If it stays at 10, that's enough. And I want to say something about this step specifically. Don't wait until you feel like doing it. That's the fix-it approach, sneaking back in. The practice doesn't depend on how you feel. You show up because it's Thursday, and Thursday is check-in day. That's it. Okay, step 3, I want you to name your accountability. This is the one that most people skip, but it's the one I want you to actually sit with. What does external accountability look like for you and your spouse right now? Do you have it? Something or someone outside of your marriage that keeps you tethered to your financial goals? If yes, great. Double down on that. Show up to whatever that is consistently. If not, I want you to think about what it would take to find it. Maybe it's a couple in your life who's doing the same thing. Maybe it's a coach. Maybe it's a community. Because here's what I know. The first 2 steps will help you. They'll help you a lot. But without the 3rd one, you're relying entirely on internal momentum. And internal momentum, as Zach and I learned, as almost every couple I've worked with has learned at some point, internal momentum runs out. The practice needs to be more than just you and your spouse to sustain it. Here's what I want you to take from today. You do not need to feel ready to start building the practice. In fact, waiting to feel ready is exactly how the fix-it cycle keeps you stuck. The couples who change their finances are not the ones who finally felt motivated enough. They're the ones who built the rhythm first and let the feeling follow. You don't need to feel ready. You need a rhythm. If the Debt-Free Collective sounds like the external accountability you've been missing, I want to see you in there. The link is in the show notes. Again, doors open July, which will be here before we know it. Founding member pricing is available to the waitlist first, so get on the waitlist. And if you're not ready for that yet, start with step 1. Pick up the budget. Put it in your calendar before you close this app. That's the practice beginning. 1 scheduled appointment. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this episode gave you something real, please share it. Text it to a couple who keep starting over. Post it somewhere. Let it find the people who need it. And subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. We are entering a really exciting season, and I don't want you to miss it. Take care of yourself, take good care of your marriage, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me today on Money and Marriage Made Simple. If you found this episode helpful, you'll love my essential money checklist for couples. You can grab that for free on the link in the show notes. Episodes will drop every other week, so be sure to follow the show so you never miss a new one. For more tips and encouragement between episodes, come hang out with me on Instagram at Finances Without Fear. I'm cheering you on as you simplify your money and strengthen your marriage, one small step at a time.